They're making the military inhospitable to the folks who typically join the military. Judicial Watch has been second to none in working through FOIA lawsuits and investigations and exposés to expose the corrupt DEI. Basically, it's just a repackaged version of anti-American Marxism that's being force-fed our cadets and young officers in training. Are they officers in training at the academies, or are they officers when they are in the academy? I don't know. Well, you know my point. The rising military leadership in our military academies are being basically abused through this DEI programming. And now they're on the run, right? Head Steph is coming in, I hope, and he'll clean house in that regard. And they're all nervous about it. And in part because of Judicial Watch pressure, they are kind of running away from it because we're working with a great veterans group, STARS, which is composed of veterans, including very senior folks who are retired from the military, who are apoplectic at what's happening at the academies and in the military generally. And so we filed this lawsuit against the Defense Department because it looks like West Point, I'm trying to pull it up here, forgive me from looking for it here, because West Point, it looks like, tried to disguise a name change, disguise their DEI programming by changing its name. And we sued. We sued West Point for information where it looks like they rebranded the Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion DEI office to the Office of Engagement and Retention. So what was up with that? Did they actually change the mission, or did they change the name? So we asked for documents. It was a straightforward request. We asked back in, when did we ask? August 28th was our FOIA request. And they've been giving us the proverbial hand to the face. I always say it's the hand to the face from the deep state when we ask questions like this. And there was, the FOIA was generated because there was a report detailing the name change. The West Point office, and this is a story from the Armed Forces Press. The West Point Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Equality Opportunity is now called the Office of Engagement and Retention. On the West Point page, there's not much change beyond the title. So changing the title doesn't change the vicious anti-American, left-wing, racially divisive, abusive Marxism that's being pushed through this DEI collective operation. As I say in our press release, it seems games are afoot at West Point to disguise the radical DEI agenda. And, so there was a story in the Wall Street Journal the other day that they were going to bring back some type of a review board where they were going to look at the generals, certainly the top leadership in the military, who are running the show, who for the last 4 years have been either elevated by Biden or prospered under the Biden regime as they've abused their troops. I mean, let me put it this way. Our morale in the military is falling apart. They're not able to recruit troops because they don't want the people who normally apply to the military to apply because they don't like their politics. So they're making it miserable for those mostly conservative people who are in the military and patriots. They're making it miserable for them. So they're leaving in droves. And they don't want people like, similarly minded people to replace them. So they're making the military inhospitable to the folks who typically join the military. I mean, how many stories have you seen? I don't need to tell you, and many of you are veterans, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where veterans and graduates of the academies are like, their kids and their grandkids, they're like, well, I don't know if you should go. I don't know if they should go. How terrible that is. I mean, they are alienating our military from the nation it's supposed to defend. That's what the left is doing under the Biden administration. So it's an emergency, Pete. If you get in, you got to shut it down. And he knows it's an emergency. That's why they don't want him there. We had documents, and we've got case after case over the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy in West Point, detailing this outrageous DEI agenda. And we have it all on our website. And of course, we have a lot of it in my new book, Rights and Freedoms in Peril. So I encourage you to get it. But we're just not going to stop. And Breitbart had a story, I wasn't able to find it before I came on, that the generals are trying to hide their DEI work for fear of being fired. And I hope Pete is smart enough, Pete Hegseth, to know what to do to get around their obstruction.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.